Hey Flosstube, it's Lori McClary Textilist and welcome to my channel. This channel is about cross stitch and quilting and all things textile. If you're new here, welcome. If you're returning, thank you because it's been quite a while and I really appreciate that you are here to share my stitching journey with me. It has been a long time since I've posted a video. I think the last video I posted was probably late July, around the July time period of 2020. And in it, I had talked a little bit about, I had finally sold my house. I'd retired in January, into January 2020. Was getting my house ready to sell, put on the market. In February, COVID hit. I decided, I made this massive move, a massive move all one weekend, literally the day before quarantine started. And then I was trying to manage getting my house in Washington sold while living here in Oregon during COVID. That all went off pretty easily, quite frankly, considering the conditions. And I had just posted a video. My friend Lisa Kendra Stitcher had come to visit. We had went shopping. It was kind of a wonderful trip. And then shortly after that video, I was diagnosed with cancer. So it's been quite a journey. It wasn't quite what I had planned on doing my first year of retirement, but it is what it is. And so that's kind of the explanation of the long absence. I want to start out a little bit about talking about this community. We all know how wonderful and thoughtful and kind and caring and supportive this community is. Especially so for me. I had just moved out of state. I live alone. Or by myself. I'm not alone. I have all my, stuff. But it was quite a challenge to be in a new state without support and just being diagnosed with cancer. And my friend Lisa Kendra Stitcher came down and stayed with me kind of during all the beginning of that and was here when I was diagnosed. So that was really helpful. And then after treatment, she came and stayed with me for several weeks to kind of help me through recovery. So it's just amazing. There's so many people I need to say thank you to. I had a lot of friends who had a prayer warrior group, which was wonderful. It was definitely helpful. Lots of people sent me cards and little gifts, and even extended that to Lisa as my caregiver while she was here, and that was wonderful too. I also had another stitchy friend who came and stayed with me. One of my quilt friends came and stayed with me for about a month, and then my children were here during the 7 weeks of treatment that I had. I won't go into all of the gory details about the cancer, but just to say it was a very difficult journey. I had 7 weeks of daily radiation and chemotherapy, and it's not anything I would wish on anybody, even my worst unliking person. But I made it through, and the recovery's been kind of bumpy too, and I'm so grateful that I had all of you people and all of my stitchy friends who really supported me through that. So thank you so much. I will be showing a little bit in this video and probably in some other videos some of the stitchy kindness that was gifted to me. So I can say proper thank yous to everyone, and that's all we're going to say about that. So because we're here to talk about stitching and quilting and all those things that make us smile and make us happy. This video is just going to be a hot mess. I've been trying to get to it for 4 or 5 weeks now. Once I kind of been up and around and feeling like I could get this done. I'll probably be filming in segments. I apologize in advance if I'm going to forget a lot of things, and I still blame a lot on chemo brain, and I'll probably use that for a while. This will be all over the place. Sometimes my finishes might be in with my starts, and I do have a lot to show you. The several months that I was kind of out of commission, I didn't buy anything, I didn't stitch anything. I very barely watched social media. So I had a lot of making up to do, which I've been working diligently at in the last 4 or 5 weeks. So I'm going to share some of that with you, and let's see how it goes. Okay, hold on, next segment. Okay, we're going to start out with what I've been stitching on lately. Not doing a whole lot of moving around, so I have a lot of time to stitch, which has been really nice. And pretty much any piece I've been picking up, I've been trying to finish. So I have a fair amount of finishes, but I also have some things that either I was working on before Cancer BC, and then some things that I've stitched on since then. So the first one I'm going to pick up is actually something I started last night. I'm going to go visit some stitchy girlfriends here in a few days, and I needed a project to take with me that's kind of easy on the eyes. And this one is a new release by Stacy Nash Primitives. It's Rose Cottage Sampler Pink Keep. And that's my working copy. And I'm stitching this on 30 count, which is going to make it quite large. 30 count weeks gray, using the Call for DMC, and that's my start right there. So that should get me going to have some good stitching with my friends. And here are the called for colors, and they're gorgeous. So there's that. The other thing that I started yesterday is a preschooler. I'm doing a SAL with Lost and Floss. She's doing a SAL with this the new 2021 preschooler, and this is also going to count as my monthly ornament SAL piece. And I got a fair amount done or started. I'm going to have to hurry up and finish this before the end of the week, so that I'm going to keep it within the month of May, and that will be my May SAL. And I have a ring here. I'm actually doing all of the Santas this year, or not all of them, as many Santas as I can do. So this is my Prairie Schooler Santa floss ring. I'm doing all the call for colors except for 2, the red and the green. I've switched out, and I'm using Cosmo. These are called Cosmo 322s, and let's see here. What are the colors I'm using? I have to move it around. Excuse me, hold please. Okay, so this is Cosmo 245. And this is Cosmo 926, and these are actually my favorite colors, dark red and dark green. So those are the colors I'm using. I don't believe you can buy the 322s on the market anymore. These, I have a large set of them, of 322s in general. I did a lot of embroidery and applique. I've probably had these for maybe 8 or 10 years or more, and I have quite a large stock of them. When they were going out, I bought a lot, so I have quite a few. So hopefully I will have enough to finish all of my Santas, and I'll show a couple more in my finishes. The next thing I worked on is I finished the border of Ida Nolt. This is my working copy. Sorry, it's not in color. And this is by Ida Nolt Revisited. This is by Hands to Work, and I finished the border. And the color's kind of getting blown out. Let me see if I back up. That's a little bit better. The colors on this are fabulous. And here's the flosses. and I don't recall, I think this is, I don't remember. Is this a hand dye by Stephanie? I think this is a hand dye by Stephanie. I will go back and look, and when I show this again, I'll make sure that I tell you what the fabric is. And I think it is, I think it's a 32 count. I'm not positive. Don't quote me on that. The next thing I got a little headway done on, and I think this was BC, is Ida Nolt. And I'm sorry, I don't have the chart with me. I have my working copy, but it's just the chart, and I didn't want to dig through all of my patterns to find it. But I'm doing this on a 45 count with the, let's see, it's the Soie d'Alger Seraphim color 648. And I think last I left off, I had just started this right here, and I kind of got this done. This was my Zoom piece when COVID first started that I was working on, because it was nice and easy that I didn't have to change out the thread or anything. So a little bit of headway on this. I'm looking forward to getting back to this. It's such a pretty piece, and I really, really like it. The next thing I had started on is Blair Gowrie with my needle. And this is, it's a Scottish sampler. I really like it. Ellen Chester designed this, and it's just gorgeous. It's one of the first that I had bought all of the silks for, so it's done in MPI silks, which you can kind of see the colors. They're very pretty. So lots of deep reds, deep greens, golds, rusts, just down my alley. And this is what I have started. Those little curly cues take some time. So those are like back stitching. So I got 1/4 of the border done. And I definitely have to be in the mood to stitch on this, not because I don't love it. I really do love it, but just because I need to be well rested and good lighting and that sort of thing. I'm doing this on 40 count vintage pecan butter, Lakeside. And so there's that. The next thing I started at the Midwest Cross Retreat, the spring retreat in Amana. I was fortunate enough to go there, and a couple weeks ago with Paulette Stewart, and I know many people have showed you all of the retreat goodies, so if you want to see those, I'm not going to show them. I may show a few things in future videos, but if you want to see what we all got, which was really wonderful stuff, you know, check out Lisa Kendrick Stitcher, or let's see, who else was there? Well, just check out Lisa. She'll have all of the goods. But I started Peace, Love, and Purpose, which is, of course, Paulette Stewart of Plum Street. And this is how far I got. I was kind of impressed with myself because I usually get very little stitching done during retreat, but I managed to do it. And here are the called for colors. I'm a little off my floss display game, but we'll manage. So looking forward to getting back to that, and I'm doing this on 36 count Ren with the called for colors. Okay, the next thing that I worked on, this is one of the pieces I picked up right when I started stitching again. I had finished, you'll see a finish that I call my companion piece. They weren't actually designed to be companion pieces, but I'll talk about it. But this one is Little House Needleworks, and it's called the North Wind. And I'm changing up the colors to match the other piece, which I'll show in my finished pieces. But basically the commonality is the red of the barn here is the same red that I used for the house. And I'm doing this on, let's see, did I write it down? I'm doing this on 28 count Smoky pearl. And I got the border done and some of the words started. And here are the colors. Again, they're not called for. If you're really interested in my conversion, just leave me a message down below and I will send that to you. So got the border done, border matched, all good. Sorry for, I have to lean to get all of this. I have a menagerie around me. The next thing I did some work on was Blackbird Designs. It was really interesting. Almost every piece I picked up after I started stitching again had a mistake in it. And I spent a lot of time unstitching and restitching. So even though it felt like I got a lot done, I probably could have got twice as much done because I, had to unstitch and restitch. So this is the way we ride. This is my working copy, so I don't have the color copy, and it's Blackbird Designs. And this is what I have done. Basically on this one, anything that starts with the mulberry border, all of this, I had all the way down here and I had to unstitch all of that and restitch it because I was two threads off. But it looks lovely now. I'm very happy with it. This is being done on, let's see, does it say? Yes, this is being done on 30 count weeks gray with the call for floss. And you can tell these are my colors. This is just gorgeous. I cannot wait to get back to this. I hope that I can get this done and framed for the fall holidays, Halloween and fall this year, because it's just so pretty. Valerie Stitching in the Barn, 3-4 videos back maybe, I'm not quite sure how far back, was showing some of her pieces, her whips. I think it was a whip parade, and she pulled out a piece, and when she did, I literally gasped. It was a piece that she had been working on and had set aside. And I immediately had to go and download it. I actually downloaded 2. And the chart I'm talking about is called Waiting for Christmas. And it's by Sarah Germani or Germani. I think it's Germani. I actually bought 2. I bought this one and I bought, I think it's White Christmas. They're very similar in style and colors, and so I do plan on stitching both of them. They're exactly the same stitch count, which is 278 by 263, and I'm going to have them framed and put together. They are stitch intensive. They're not full coverage. There's just a lot of stitches. So here's what I have done, and here is, I'm using all the called for DMC, and they are so pretty. I'm going to flip it over here because there's so many so you can get an idea. Oops, there's the others. So this is a good representation of what I've been stitching on the last 4 or 5 weeks. It's not exactly everything, but it's a good start. These are ones that have not been finished. I think I have a few more that I picked up and stitched on for, an hour or 2 here, but I didn't pull everything out. So this is what is currently in progress right now. And next we're gonna do my finishes. So hold on and I'll go get them. Okay, I'm back. I got my my spectacles on, and we're going to take a look at these. Some of them I won't have the charts to show you, just simply because I didn't want to dig them out. I'd already put them away. But I did bring my handy dandy journal that I got from Suzette, who is the Primitive Stitcher. I have a couple of these and I really like them. I actually use them together with the Book of Days. The Book of Days kind of takes care of me tracking what I'm working on during a specific day, but this is more the main journal, or the main recording of what I'm working on, and basically it keeps track of the title, the designer, when I started it, when I finished it, if there was any notes I wanted to make about it. So that's what we're going to use. I'm going to be referring to it, so I'll be looking down a little bit. The first one I'm going to show you is the MLK sampler, which is by Stone Street Stitchworks, and this is this was a commemorative, I would say, for Martin Luther King. It says the time is always right to do what is right, which is a quote from Martin Luther King. This was really pretty. I did this on R&R 18th Century Rook with DMC 3020, 3782, 3787, and 22, which I do believe are the called for. There might have been one substitution in there. But as I mentioned on the other one, I ended up having to unstitch a good portion of the bottom half because I'd missed this middle section. I had to unstitch this and go back and stitch it. But it went pretty quickly. I finished it within a couple days. And I think I did say this was 40 count. So this is done, and I'm looking forward to getting this framed. This should fit into a 5x7 pretty easily. I'm not positive, but I think it will. So that one I completed in February. I think this was the first piece I picked back up and did a little bit of stitching on. The next piece is Horse Country Holiday. This is a Artful Offerings. Oops, let's look at it this way. And I did this on, oh, I'm going to have to look it up. Hopefully it's not too hard to find. Here we go. I did this on a 36 count vintage pearl barley using the country sampler conversion. So I started it up here, and it was just the floss was too light, or not light enough. It really blended in, so I got something a little bit lighter. So it is the conversion, except for that color, which I used DMC 3866. And so maybe there's a better look. This was so fun to stitch, especially that that blanket. That blanket was really fun. It went pretty quickly. So that's another finish I had. The next finish is called Winter's Peace. Again, I don't have the chart right now with me, but I can tell you that it's a Summer House Stitchworks. I stitched this on a gift piece that came with an order from Extrude Designs. It doesn't have a name, but it is a 32 count. And I did this in Cosmo 245 red and DMC 3866. And I love this. Basically, I have a lot of smalls for my winter bowl. I just need to get cracking and start finishing these. So there's another finish. Let's see here, what's next? This is a piece I had started way back when I started cross stitching 3 years ago, has it been? I think it's been 3 years ago. This is from Beth Twist's blog. It's a free download. It's called Yukon's Christmas List, and it's done on a 28 count Monaco that I hand dyed, and I've done this in Cosmo 245 and 926. Basically the same, let's see, can't see what I'm showing. Basically the same red and green that I'm doing the Prairie Schooler Santas. And this is intended to be made into a drum. So that will be happening when I get the urge to do some finishing. But I was really pleased. This is so cute. And those of you who are of an age, my age, will truly appreciate that. It has a date on here, 1964, and that is the date that I believe that Rudolph was released, because this is where Yukon Cornelius comes from, is Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer from Rankin Bass. Okay, so, the next piece that I finished, and this is the one I was talking about a little bit earlier when I was showing you some of my works in progress. And this is the companion piece, and this is called For Snowfall. It was a Priscilla and Chelsea stitch along, I think probably their first or second stitch along. It's by Country Cottage Needleworks. There it is. I definitely made some changes in the colors, and it's done on 28 count pearl gray, so both pieces are done on the same color. And I changed the house to use Manor Red and a few other changes. And again, if you're interested in the conversion, go ahead and drop me a request or a question down below in the comments, and I will get that off to you. I think that the red is the only color that I changed out specifically. The rest I used the call for colors, but I may have used them in a different place. I think that's correct. But here's the finish. I really love this, and then I plan on hanging this and the other one that I showed you together when it's completed. So I was happy to finally get that done, and I was pleased at how it turned out. It's really cute. Okay, so there's that one. And let's see, I've got two more finishes to show you. This one is one of my favorites. Let me find the chart here. This is a Brenda Gervais, and it's called Where Hearts Rest. And this is another one that I think I first saw on Priscilla and Chelsea's channel way back in the day when they very first started. Priscilla had this, and I just fell in love with it. I did this on a 28 count Marin Cashel, and I did it in the Call for Colors, and I have absolutely no idea how I'm going to finish this, but here it is, and it's just gorgeous. I just love those colors. Looking forward to, I will probably frame this, and I will probably hang it in my living room or somewhere when, for spring. I should get it done. I really should get it done soon so that it can hang here all summer and spring. So that one is finished. And then the last finished I did just recently. I had started this piece so that I could have something to stitch on, aside from the Paulette Stewart one that I did at retreat, because when you're at retreat, whatever you stitch, you end up unstitching. I'm really surprised that my other one did not have any mistakes in it, or at least not any mistakes that I have found yet. But I started this and I did the outline. It was for the Blackbird Sal, the BBD Weekend Sal that Brenda and Laura started, and it would just let me have something that I could fill in during retreat so that I could chat and not make mistakes, etc., and actually accomplish something. So this is a chart. Let's see. I think you can probably still find copies. It's not one that you see done a lot. I'm trying to find my, well, maybe I haven't. Ooh. I did not write it down. Oh, please, I'm gonna go find out the information. Okay, we're back. So this is called the Sewing Bird Pocket. It's by Blackbird Designs. I did it on a 30 count gray Weeks Dye Works, and I did, I had all the call for colors. They were Classic Colorworks, and I'm jealously guarding what I have right now, and I have a bunch, a lot of Victoria Motto. So what I did is I did a Victoria Motto slash Color and Cotton. I also use Color and Cotton conversions. Again, if you're interested in the conversion that I did, I think when I first posted this, it's on my Instagram, and my Instagram is the same name as my channel, Textilist. Or you can look at my Facebook account, which is McCleary Mercantile and Quilting. That is my longtime business account from when I quilted and did other things. So you can find it on there. But basically, ta-da, here it is. it is so pretty. So this is called the Sewing Bird Pocket, again by Blackbird Designs. And it's intended to be a scissor pocket, and I will probably finish it something similar to that. I may just put some wool on the back and put it in a dough ball. It's actually, it's probably about 6.5 by 8.5 or 9 inches, so it's a little bit larger than what the called for was, but I love it. I love the red. I love how it turned out. The colors that I used are basically the same colors. They're just different companies. So that's how that one turned out. And that is my last finish, my last recent finish for cross stitching. So as I mentioned, my channel's not just about cross stitching, it's about quilting. I am a long time quilter that came to cross stitching about 2 or 3 years ago. I've been sharing my quilts along the way, and I'm just, I can tell you when I came back and started watching videos again here a couple months ago, I was completely thrilled to the ends of my toes and fingers that so many cross stitchers have jumped into the quilting pool. And of course, you know, many of them have done that all along. So Olivia from Pumpkin Hollow and Christy from Crosshatch Quilts, and of course Carol Saltback Stitcher, and myself, and many other cross stitchers have showed quilting along the way. But there's so many people who are now joining that, and so many people who are just trying it out for the first time. I was thrilled to see Chemo Brain, can't remember. I got it. Nicole, she did her first quilt, and she is definitely fallen down the rabbit hole, and she's got many more planned, and Prim's on Greenway, and just so many other people. And it's filling a niche that I think really did not exist before. Now, you can go on YouTube, and going back several years, you will find a bazillion different videos on how-tos and showing you product, and showing you how to do things, how to cut things out, how to sew them together. You've got Missouri Star Quilt Company, you've got Fat Quarter Shop, but what they did not have in those videos is what we're starting to see, and that is the show and tell, and the journey, and the this is where I'm at, and the joy and the smile on people's faces when they've completed a quilt, and all of that passion and emotion and feelings and all of those things that go along with quilting, just like they go along with cross stitch. So for me, it's a part that I miss about attending guild. So I didn't go to my guild. I belong to a rather large guild in Olympia, Washington. You know, a couple hundred members, several master quilters, several people in the business, you know, the quilting industry. And one meeting, we had 2 meetings a month. We had a business meeting and a program meeting. The program meeting, we would have a speaker or a teacher, you know, someone in the quilt industry who would come, and they would do like a trunk show and then do classes, and then the business meetings where we talked about guild activities like our show and the charity work. We did a lot of charity work, but at the end of the business meeting, after we've, you know, talked about all the things we've done and all the things we needed to do, we did show and tell. And that was absolutely my favorite part of going to guild. And basically people would bring all of their projects. 99.5% of the time it was quilting. Sometimes it was a few other things, because just like cross stitchers, quilters are multi-crafters, and you just can't help but stray into another craft, because they all belong together. But this is what the videos that I'm seeing now are bringing out to the world, and that is the show and tell. And I am so thrilled, so thrilled that I see it. And then the one that thrilled me the most was Olivia B. So if you haven't seen her latest, it's either her latest or a video before, she has shown all of the quilts that she's been working on. So we had been messaging a little bit back and forth over the last maybe year and a half or two, and she was going to start the Blackbird design. She was really thrilled. We talked about different ways of applique. And she just jumped right into the fray. She did some wool, she did some applique, she sent some pictures and posted on her Instagram about this small little sewing case. I think it was a sewing case. I could be wrong, but she just jumped right in. She's doing beautiful work. She keeps saying in her video that she's a novice. She is not a novice. Olivia, I hope you're watching. You are not a novice. You have graduated quickly into the journeywoman stage of quilting, and you are well on your way to becoming a master quilter. Do not underestimate what you have done. It is amazing. So she has completed several quilts. She's hand quilted them. They look amazing. They're beautiful. I couldn't be more proud well, I couldn't be more proud. Anyway, so please go and watch her. And I mentioned several names of people. Oh, there's one more I forgot. She does a lot of Lori Holt. Can't remember her name. Hold please while I go look it up. Okay, I'm back. I'm telling you, chemo brain combined with old ladyhood is just, well, anyway, so it was Celeste Creates. So she has, she started using the hashtag QuiltyTube. And so there's Celeste Creates, Valerie Stitching the Barn has always shared her quilts. Let's see, what's a few others that have kind of jumped to the forefront. Sorry, I'm looking down here at my iPad. There's Hedgerow Stitcher. She always quilted, but she's starting to do more. And there's some new floss tubers called Two Tall Quilters. They quilt and cross stitch, so happy to watch them. Let's see, there is a Crafty Cottage something rather. I am so sorry. And they're fellow Olympians. So they're from my former hometown. I think they're in that area. Let's see who else is showing quilts. Nikki Noodles, of course. She does quilting as well. The Sisterly, Stitching with the Sisterlies, you know, they do quilting as well. Susan Stanley, one of my newest favorite cross stitchers, who also is a quilter, and she shares my love of history and textile history and everything, and I love watching her. So so many people. I've mentioned several. I've probably missed quite a few. If you've found someone who is also sharing their quilting journey, cross stitch style, Flosstube style, please let me know. Please put something down in the comments so that I can go check them out. But I'm really glad that Celeste coined a hashtag called QuiltyTube. So if you put in QuiltTube in YouTube, you're going to find a lot of how-tos, which are fabulous. They're great, particularly for those of you who are just starting their quilting journey. And as I mentioned, Missouri Star Quilt Company and Fat Quarter Shop and many more have wonderful how-tos. But if you're looking for something like me, which is quilting Flosstube style, which is show and tell and sharing the journey and the joy of quilting, please let me know, because I would be really interested. And I encourage that if you're going to show your quilting or you're starting in that journey, whether it's regular piecing or patchwork, or whether you're doing wool applique or anything that you're doing, please, I hope this is okay with you, Celeste, please use the hashtag QuiltyTube so we can all find you. So I'm going to put that in any video where I'm showing my quilting. I don't know that I'm necessarily going to separate my quilting out from my cross stitch. I think that's complicated. The only reason I might do that is if it's a really long video. I may do one coming up here where I'm showing some more past projects. And so if it's a long video, I will probably do just QuiltyTube. But I'm going to put Flosstube and QuiltyTube in my title anytime that I'm showing both, so that any other people any other stitchers who are interested in both the quilting and the cross stitching, as well as any other multi-crafts that we might do, can find each other. So that's my public service announcement for today. On that note, I'm going to pause real quickly right here, and I'm going to grab one of the other projects that I've been working on.